Welcome back. Relations between the United States and China are tense. Well, that's after Beijing allowed Edward Snowden to leave the country. Snowden is, of course, wanted for leaking U.S. spy secrets. Let's chat to Asia correspondent John Bailey now, who's live to us from Beijing. John, a very good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us. What are you hearing from China this morning about where Edward Snowden is this morning?
Yeah, hi, morning, Ayana. From what we hear here, it seems that all indications are that he's still in Russia. There's no word that he has left Russia for Ecuador or for Cuba, as was reported by the media. So all indications are, from here at least, is that he's either being held up in the transit area of the airport where he landed in Moscow, and he's probably sorting out the paperwork. But I think there's what people are speculating is that there's a lot of pressure coming from the US on the Russian side to try and assist with extraditing Snowden to the US.
John, Washington says it's disappointed in China that Hong Kong failed to detain Snowden and seemed to have pulled a fast one on the US, as it were. How have Chinese officials explained the recent developments?
Well, you know what's interesting, Ayana, is that there's been no word from Beijing about their involvement in letting Snowden leave Hong Kong. But all indications are that when it comes to these kind of geopolitical matters and something of national security, that Beijing certainly had a hand in the decision to let Snowden leave Hong Kong. And many in Hong Kong and even here in mainland are saying that this is actually the best move for to ensuring that there's lasting or rebooting the relationship between the US and China, because there were certainly concerns that if Snowden were to stay in Hong Kong and fight extradition for years, it would have a severe impact on the relationship between, or mending the relationship between China and the US. So many are actually happy that he has left, but some are also saying that they are sure that Beijing first interrogated Snowden and tried to get as much information out of him before letting him go.
But the fact that he has been let go, has it already caused damage between relations, between China and the US? He was let go. The US would have preferred it if he was rather sent back to America.
Well, as I said, the thing is, there is no indication that Beijing, not at least officially, that Beijing was involved, but all points to Beijing assisting or actually just using Hong Kong as a pawn to move the chess pieces to make sure that Snowden leaves the country, or rather to leave Hong Kong, and so it's not Beijing's problem anymore. And so Beijing can put this issue aside, that won't allow just the issue of one individual to impact on the relationship between Xi Jinping, the new president, and Barack Obama. So for them it's almost good riddance that Snowden is not around anymore.
John, if I may just sidetrack for a moment and focus on a story that's been making global headlines. It is, of course, the fact that Nelson Mandela has moved now from a serious but stable condition to being critical. How has China reacted to this? What's word on the ground, not only from ordinary Chinese, but also from officials there? What have you heard?
Well, Ayanda, Nelson Mandela is the most respected and admired South African and African leader for most, if not all, Chinese people. His views of ensuring that there is peaceful coexistence between different interest groups and also development of countries, that's very important for the Chinese. So the progress about his health has receiving a lot of media attention from the state media, and people are very interested to know what's happening in South Africa. So it's keenly being watched here by officials as well as ordinary people.
Thank you very much. That was Asia correspondent John Bailey discussing a range of issues from us live from Beijing.
News that moves. eNCA.com.